So in planting a new blueberry bush, it's important to start with a really nice deep hole. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna put sphagnum peat moss at the bottom of the hole. Where blueberries come from in the mountains, they have really nice deep layers of moss that their roots can go through. So we're gonna simulate that. We're gonna soak this peat moss here. And also what the peat moss is gonna do is it's gonna lower the pH, which is gonna increase the acidity. Blueberries like acidic soil. So they're going to really like the acidity of this peat moss. And we can also use pine needles, which are acidic, to top dress and to amend the soil as well with blueberries. We also have some equal amounts fertilizer here. We got 17, 17, 17 fertilizer that we're gonna amend the hole with. And we have some compost as well and cow manure that we're gonna top dress with. And then cedar mulch on top to keep the weeds down and to keep that moisture level up in the soil. All right, I got this soaked peat moss, and this is gonna go in the bottom of the hole. Now, with peat moss in the bottom of the hole, it's gonna run the water out faster. It's gonna dry out faster. So you're gonna have to water more often, but the roots of that blueberry are gonna go down in there and the blueberry bush is gonna be so much happier. So it's really worth it. It's worth the extra trouble. All right, we're gonna amend with a little fertilizer here. I'm gonna put some compost in the bottom and I'm gonna save some for the top as well. All right. Just gonna mix that up some. Those blueberry roots are gonna be so happy. Okay. Now we're gonna keep it in the pot until we know that the blueberry bush is gonna be the right level at the surface. So we need to add some more soil to this. All right, we've got some dirt. I'm gonna add some dirt from the bottom of our old compost pile in there. This dirt is gonna be very rich. All right. Okay, that's a horse slide. I think they're looking to mate. Look how stationary that is. Wow. Maybe it's trying to find... Oh!
I've never seen that before.
Dude! Okay. All right, so this looks about more like it. The soil underneath is gonna settle a little bit, so I would rather the blueberry be raised a little bit from the rest of from the outside soil rather than be too deep, and then it'll get dirt on the trunk and rot it. So and rot the blueberry. So we want to have the soil ideally right at the same level, and maybe the blueberry a little bit higher initially because everything's gonna sink down a little. I'm gonna add a little bit more of this. to raise it up just a little more, I'll add a little more compost. I think that looks great.
That guy hasn't been in there for very long, so his roots are going to be pretty loose.
Okay. So it's right underneath of that. All right. If you need to mark the level of soil with something before you tip it, you certainly can, so that you make sure that it's at the same. Or just remember. I'm remembering this is about 1/2 inch under this branch. All right. We're gonna invert the pot. Give it a little squeeze. This has not been in here for very long, so it's gonna be a little loose, but that's okay. And now we're just gonna fill in soil around it. All right, now I've got the rest of the peat moss and the rest of the compost right here mixed up. I'm gonna throw a little bit of fertilizer in there and mix it up. And we're gonna top dress this blueberry before we mulch it. Now I've got the rest of the peat moss, the compost, and a little bit of our fertilizer top dressed on this blueberry. And again, I got the soil level the way that it was originally. Now we're gonna mulch with cedar. This is Eastern red cedar mulch, but any mulch will do. Pine needles make great mulch for blueberries because it makes it more acidic. I love you. Now you want at least 2 inches of mulch around your blueberry. Now, if you're using something that's like that decomposes, like if you're using leaves as mulch, you want to keep it at least 2 inches away from the base of the blueberry plant, so that you don't cause any insects or any fungus to rot out the base of your berry bushes or your fruit trees for that matter. So you want to keep the mulch away from the direct base of the trunk right here.
Okay.
All right. This mulch is gonna really help keep the weeds down so that the roots of the blueberry don't have to compete at all. They can just spread as far as they want to. It's really good for it. And it's gonna keep the moisture level in the soil up. Now that brings me to watering. Blueberries really like moist soil. They like good watering all the time. So it's a good idea, especially when it's young, when you just plant it, to water it a whole bunch. And then after that, you should water it. I mean, in the dry season, you should water it at least probably 2 or 3 times a week. Give it a good soaking. It could probably tolerate once a week if that's all you can do. But make sure that it gets a really good soaking. And good mulch is crucial to keeping the soil moist under there. And the blueberry is really gonna like that.
Like a YouTube exit.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm gonna give this guy a good watering now, and then we're gonna leave it alone and watch it grow. So this in the future will produce blueberries for, I mean, over 20 years it should, as long as you keep it healthy and free of weeds and keep it watered and fertilized and everything. So anyways, thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe and everything like that. We just really appreciate it all. And yeah, have a blessed day.